The fourth key to optimum results in prayer, as is relevant to our topic today, is that you should use the most appropriate location. Use the most appropriate location. So for you to get the best results in prayer, you would need to use the most appropriate location for different times of your prayer. Different times of your prayer. In Mark 1:35, easy to read version. It says, the next morning, Jesus woke up very early. He left the house while it was still dark and went to a place where he could be alone and pray. We are talking about appropriate location for different times of your prayer. There are times where you need a quiet and private place to pray. Even in the house, you would need a particular place in the house where you can enjoy that serenity and privacy. Quiet, private place was preferred for his prayer altar. In Matthew 26, verse 36, Matthew 26, verse 36, easy to read version. It says, then Jesus went with his followers to a place called GETHSEMANE. He said to them, sit here while I go there and pray. Location. Can somebody say location? Location is key. Jesus is showing you now that location is a factor in wholehearted prayer. Wholehearted prayer. Location was key. He went to a particular location at a time he really wanted to pray. Wanted to pray. Location is key in prayer. So in looking at the issue of location, you need to please avoid using locations where you could easily be distracted when praying. Avoid using locations where you could easily be distracted when you are praying. Use a location or a room when praying privately where you can focus and concentrate in prayer. And maybe the only way you can achieve this is time. So you have to deliberately, intentionally now program your prayers to be at a time of the day where you can focus and concentrate. Because at other times of the day, there will be distractions, there will be noise, there will be disturbance. So avoid praying at times you could easily be distracted or interrupted by other people in the house or location. So this shows you one of the primary purposes and relevance and benefits of prayer mountains. Prayer mountains, places of prayer, locations for prayer retreats, locations for prayer come with this advantage. Your physical presence at certain locations sometimes can enhance the results you will get in prayer. Your physical presence. Your physical presence. And we are going to close by looking at some of those benefits. Benefits of attending prayer meetings. The fervency of your prayer is enhanced. The fervency of your prayer is enhanced. The spirit of prayer is present and you connect with it afresh. There is a grace of God upon a prayer meeting. There's a grace of God upon a prayer meeting. And that is why you observe it's easy, very easy for the minister of God and the person leading the prayer meeting to begin to operate in the gift of prophecy. So the spirit of prayer is there at the prayer meeting. And you connect with it afresh. You connect with it afresh. There's a spirit of prayer. You connect with it afresh. You also connect with the spiritual gifts and the grace upon the man of God. You connect with the spiritual gifts and the grace of God that is upon whoever is ministering. There's a man of God, there's a woman of God, an intercessor, prayer warrior, minister of God, leading that prayer. You connect with the spiritual gifts. You are present to benefit from whatever gifts or grace of God is upon that vessel. Prayer meetings, they build your faith in God. They build your faith in God. They build your faith. The things, the messages you hear, the stories you hear, the testimonies you hear, the prayer points that are raised, and then the corporate fervency. All of this together, with the process of a short period of time, your faith in God begins to increase. Builds your faith. It renews your faith in God. And of course, no distractions. You are focused completely on the service. Your presence, your physical presence can sometimes attract the special attention and compassion of the man of God. I'm going to throw a little light on this as we're closing it now. Your physical presence can sometimes attract the special attention of the man of God, the woman of God. Can sometimes attract the compassion of the man of God. The compassion of a vessel of God is key, and it has been the key to many miracles that have happened from scriptural times to date. The compassion of that vessel of God. Many times that happen in the ministry of our Lord Jesus Christ, we are provoked by compassion. 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 12 to 20, verse 17. Then Eli said, to who? To Anna. Said to her, and he could have touched her. He said, go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant your petition. Now he's not talking about this was not a general pronouncement. So you see the benefit of being physically present. When you are physically present, from time to time, the Spirit of God, the compassion of the man or woman of God will drive them to zero down on you at a particular time. And that could just be your turning point in life. And what is your petition? Your own Anna, your own petition. Anna's petition. Your own petition. Your prayer request. Your heart cry. Your own, not the general one. Which you have asked of him. Which you, may you be present for this to happen. May you be present for this to happen. And if she wasn't there that day, it would not have happened. Anna said, let your handmaid find grace in your sight. So she went away and ate, and her countenance was what? Was no longer sad. Not after she prayed, after the man of God made a pronouncement to her. She felt that something had happened. She felt that something had happened. She felt it, and she was right. She got it right. Because there are times you will know that God has ministered to you. God has touched me. God has remembered. Something interesting happened in Acts chapter 5, verse 15. Acts chapter 5, verse 15. Contemporary English version, it says, then sick people were brought out to the road and placed on mats. It was hoped that Peter would walk by and his shadow. Are you seeing another dimension of divine impartation? His shadow will fall on them. and heal them. Now, this can only happen through a direct one-on-one encounter. You will need to go out of the comfort of your home for certain breakthroughs to happen in your lifetime. You will need to go out. You will need to go out. You are the one that needs something from God. You can't do everything. You can't get everything you could benefit from God at your own convenience. Please have this in mind. Beyond prayer, you can't get everything that God will actually give you and would want to give you in life on convenient terms. Some of these things will not happen until you go out. And the further you go, the more the attention of God is drawn to you. The more the attention of God. Have you observed? Can I show you something? Can I show you something? Have you observed? When people go into prayer and fasting, no food, no water. It's a serious matter. "24 hours, no food, no water." Heaven is taking note. If you now extend it to 2 days, 48 hours, no food, no water, God is taking note. 3 days, no food, no water. That's the breakthrough point. That's the breakthrough point. Go and check it in scriptures. By the end of the 3rd day, no, God will not want you to go beyond that point. Mercy will speak. Is someone listening here? God has just reconfirmed the key to you. Mercy will speak. By the time it gets to the 3rd day, questions are being asked. What is the issue with him? What is the issue with? What does he want? What does she want? This is what will always happen. You can now understand why Esther, knowing this spiritual key, she understood this spiritual key. That was why Esther said, "Please tell all the Hebrews, we want to try and we need God's mercy to deliver us from this big problem here with us." And what did she say? What was the key? He said, "Please tell, I'm going to fast for how many days? 3 days. That's 3 days. That's the key. 3 days opens the door for the mercy of God. 3 days. 3 days. No food, no water. There's something serious at stake in the heart of this person. Even if that person has done something bad, mercy would speak. Mercy would speak. So we need to please always remember this and apply where necessary. So people were able to have encounter with the grace of God upon Apostle Peter by the exposure, direct exposure to his shadow. To his shadow. To his shadow. And many things can happen in a prayer meeting that was not planned by whoever is ministering. Many things can happen. Many things can happen. These diverse benefits that comes with physically attending prayer